everybody here know the difference between like mortal sin and venial sin? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, great. Right? Obviously, venial sin is damaging your relationship with God. Mortal sin is severing, right? So as you're elevating in these levels of prayer, your purity is going up in all ways, right? Your virtue is increasing. One great definition of virtue is the subordination or the participation in the lower faculties in the life of reason. In other words, it's getting all of your various faculties in your body, soul composite to conform with your intellect and your will, right? So with effective prayer, you start to get this more burning desire. You start to more quickly ascertain these objects of your meditation because you've done the work in level 2. Right? The discursion only goes on for so long. Once you just know something, you just know it. It's amazing. So essentially, levels 1 through 4 are they comprise of what's referred to as the purgative way. There's these 3 ways to the one way of Christian perfection. And they're called the purgative way, the illuminative way, and the unitive way. And levels 1 through 4 of prayer more or less map to that purgative way. Certainly the active purgation process, where you yourself are putting in the effort and making this happen. But then there comes a point where you hit the ceiling and you can't do it anymore. Like you can come to a point where you are so close with eliminating not only the mortal sins, but even the venial sins. And that's what happens with especially levels 5 through 8 of prayer, and really in 5 and 6. You start to kind of blend into what's called the passive purgation or purification process, where you are just receiving a cleansing from the Lord. And then also entering into what's known as the illuminative way, as I have mentioned. This is the part in a soul's journey where they have to get a spiritual director, because there's a certain amount of spiritual blindness that comes with this part of life, where you need somebody who knows what they're doing to kind of help you, figure out what's going on and where you need to go next. Someone with a spiritual flashlight. So when you start entering into level 5 of prayer, which is mystical contemplation, you start the process of that receiving from the Lord. So what does that look like? What it looks like is God infuses his grace into our souls. And our responsibility is to lean on all of the training that we had received with how to exercise levels 1 through 4 of prayer, right? We've hopefully more or less mastered those. And in the natural order of things, it is a progression. It's linear. Although you can't put God in a box, and sometimes he jumps around on the map temporarily for certain souls. But as you have progressed, your faculties are subordinated enough so that you can start to receive these mystical experiences from God. So now we're in the 5th level of prayer, mystical contemplation. What happens to a soul at this level is you're starting to get a little taste of the mystical life. At level 5, it predominates again back in the intellect, kind of like how you can think about how level 2 mental prayer was predominantly in the intellect, and then level 3 shifted to the will. So too with level 5 of prayer. And then when you have to leave that level of prayer, because these higher levels of prayer tend to be of shorter duration, all you want to do is go back to it, right? So at levels 7 and 8 of prayer, souls tend to want to just die, actually. And it has nothing to do with being emo. It has nothing to do with, like a mental illness or like some sort of an ideation of any sort. No. It's just a profound sadness that you have actually had the ability to taste of God in such a deep, deep way. And that's all you want. Nothing else can compare. There's no drug on earth that will ever give you that level of bliss as union with God.